feeling like your life should have come together after the accomplishment of graduating. Instead, you are facing debt, feelings of loneliness, disappointment. It seems like a period of time where adjustment into adulthood is quick and unforgiving. That's the one I was like, wow.
Feeling stuck due to the crap job market, lack of money, lack of support, and feeling useless.
Frustration from not reaching a financial stability with the field you chose to study.
Having struggles acclimating to the world of structure, stability, and personal connections you had in college.
What was your first job out of college?
Well, I had an internship that didn't pay me, but it was like, no, I was still in college. My first job out of college, I guess, was here.
Oh yeah?
And I was working for a director, and at first it was fine because he was paying me like the agreed amount, and I was like, oh, this is great, like I'm kind of making money.
Right.
And then as time went by, he would just stop paying me. Mm-hmm. Or pay me less, or like he'd be like, don't cash that check yet. Like, what? Like, this is my paycheck, I can cash it whenever I want. But it just like deteriorated after maybe like 6 months, and then I was like, this is bad, and we need to not work together anymore. He also hasn't made any movies since 1999. I also realized now he was like kind of like pervy.
I believe it.
It was gross, this old man. Anyway.
It's a fun first job.
My first job out of college was to be an associate web producer for CBN. It was good because it was my first time doing live shows. This was a different world that I got to see. Like, wow, this is kind of fun. I got to book artists to be on the show, as well as I got to, do a feature, like record my own little feature segment. So it was nice.
That's cool. And did you get this by yourself, or did you have somebody help you get that?
I actually had one of my, a mutual friend help me. So I knew her for a while. I actually reached out to her 3 years prior. And then when we ran into each other, she remembered me. So she got me the job.
That's awesome. Wow, that's cool.
My first job out of college, I suppose technically it was, I graduated college and didn't have a job lined up, so I moved back in with my parents, and I spent a few months working for my dad's friend doing contracting stuff, installing fascia and soffit at the side of houses. Waking up at 5 a.m., going to some job site, sweating, cutting up your hands with fiberglass and stuff. It was absolutely miserable.
Sounds like it.
I did that for about 2 months until I packed all my belongings in my car and drove to Los Angeles.
It's that classic story.
Right.
I put everything in the car, I drove to LA.
No, I was just, moved back in with my parents after school. I'm like, well, this is exactly what I don't want to be doing, and I just need to be doing something drastic. Just throw myself into the fire and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is the place to do it. Sometimes I think LA is literally on fire. It was literally on fire like 2 days ago, so this is the place.
My first job out of college, I worked at a restaurant for like 2 days, and I quit.
Okay. Well, that was interesting. What made you quit?
Cause they're like, oh, you're gonna work, so wash your clothes every night. I'm like, no, I need to go make films, because I'm not here to make a film. I'm not here to work at a restaurant every day of my life. So I was like, you know what, I can't do this. Let me just quit now before I get in too deep. And then they were like, no, you should have told us this before. So
Well, 2 days definitely cut the line from getting in deep.
Like, no. And then I wanted to get internships and stuff, because I was fresh out of college. I needed to build my connections for what I'm out here for. And the place that I was working at, it was just like a bunch of college kids coming through there. I'm just like, no.
What do you think about the statement, success is relative?
I mean, it's true. It's success means whatever you think it means. It varies from person to person. And some people could say, oh, you are objectively successful. Mm-hmm. But you can look at yourself and be like, what are you talking about, you idiot? So, yeah, I think it does vary, I'm sure there are people that I think are very successful that probably disagree. I don't see myself as being successful, but I'm sure there are people that would disagree with that. So, yeah, I think it means different things.
I agree with you, but my views are a little bit different. Success is something that
will take me out of the situation which is I was brought into this world into. Growing up in a single household in poverty, you know, we were happy, we were content because, you know, whatever you got, you just have to be happy with it. That's how life was supposed to be. But I always knew that, like, that wasn't my end goal. My end goal was always to be more. I don't think I'm gonna ever feel successful unless I'm able to inspire and change people's lives in a way that I wish someone could do for me when I was younger. So that's my vision of success.
I've got a bunch of friends who they've done the grind that you're supposed to do, did the internships, and now they're working as like producers or something, and they're more miserable than I remember them years ago.
Yeah.
Like they find a way. And it's like, oh, like you're making like good money and stuff. It's like, yeah, no. It's like I can like totally like go and get a nice dinner now to take my mind off the fact that I hate what I do. Like, so, and in that way, like I'm not making a fraction of the money they're making, but like I've felt very successful as of late and been having a really good time pursuing my individual
Oh, that's
passions.
great.
Like,
Oh, you win then.
And yeah, and you talk to people that are slaving away at some fancy job with a title, and they're like, I'm jealous of you. Like,
They're not
so
free.
it is nice to know the grass is always greener.
I think success is how you make it. Are you happy doing what you're doing every day? I'm learning that success is not just money, you know, or having a lot of money or having this amount of friends. It's about being content with yourself and who you are, setting boundaries. Be excited about waking up in the morning and just doing the simplest things of, you know, getting in the jacuzzi every morning at your apartment complex. But just being happy with what like God has to offer you at that moment of time. So that's success for me.
Lack of structure.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about lack of structure?
I'll say this. In my younger years, I delighted in a lack of structure. After leaving mommy and daddy's home, and suddenly you're on your own. You can do whatever you want, and
I can
you
eat
know,
ice cream for breakfast.
I think everybody. It'd be a shame not to try to take advantage of that at some point. And I found myself actually instituting structure, finally, in my life, and it's kind of delightful. But it has to be, in my experience, the structure that you want and not the structure you're told you're supposed to have. When everything is different all the time and there's no consistency, you find yourself in this constant reactionary survival mode of you're just trying to figure out this one moment. I think the best success comes from imposing your own structure.
We forget about the health and we forget about, you know, family and friendships. We forget about all the other stuff because we're so focused on getting that internship, getting this career, making things happen in our life. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like we have to make sure that every single thing is put in place, because once everything is put in place, then your career can thrive. I have structure now. Like, you can't have lack of structure when you do this stuff, because you got to realize that you got mouths, you have to feed yourself. Thank God you don't have mouths to feed, but you got to feed yourself. Yeah, some people do. And I'm just like so grateful to the single parents in here, because like it's difficult.
When you are not in school and you're in the world, no one's going to make you do anything. Like, if you're going to have a structure, you have to put it on yourself. When I was living here and I was working for Reggie, there was this kind of like lull where he just didn't like need anything. Or I would only work for him for a few hours a day, but the rest of the day I was just doing nothing. Now looking back, I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, I just didn't do anything. But now, like, partially because of the way I work, like I have to plan, because I don't have a set schedule. So I have to like kind of gauge where I need to be and then be like, okay, how much time do I have left to do my life around the other things? And if I don't do that, I won't even exist. I'll just be the work. So I think the lack of structure really gets some people, though.
I'm gonna go back to moving to LA in general. I think a lot of people, when they move out here, they have this idea or this connotation that I'm gonna move out, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna be really big, and this is gonna be my life story. And then if it doesn't work out, they leave. So I think that structure for me is being able to like have those goals. Like, I'm not telling anybody to have those like goals or whatever, because at the end of the day, that's why you're here. But you have to be realistic in the way you structure the way that you're gonna go about obtaining those goals. And I think that if you lack structure, you lack the ability to reach those goals.
What made you aware of your post-college depression?
I got this gig for E! News, and I was super excited about it. And then but the excitement didn't last. I was excited for like a very brief amount of time. And then I went and I did the job, I did the segment, and it was fun. And I'm still like not happy. So that was a signifier of like, oh, even if I keep getting work, it's probably not gonna make me happy. I was like, oh fuck, there's nothing I can do. Like I'm gonna be like this. Good stuff happens career-wise, like good things happen, and I'm still just like, okay. And then I'm realizing like that probably isn't even gonna come from work anyway. I think the realization of post-college depression is realizing like, oh, I actually am chipping away at these things that I'm supposed to want, and I still am not happy. What is one thing you want people watching this to take away? My debt. No, continue. Maybe it's Eeyore, but I have that voice in my head, and I agree with it. It is okay to be sad. Like, it's fine to be sad, and your feelings are valid. You don't have to like shove your sadness down. You can feel it fully, and you can be sad, and you can be angry, and like just don't let it stop you. Like, use it as fuel to keep going. Because if I didn't turn my sadness into something almost tangible, I would still be in my bed from 6 months ago. Like, I'd still be in there. So take whatever's troubling you and fucking you up and turn it into something.
When it comes to your career and doing things, I mean, just like, don't be scared to step outside the box. Don't be scared to step out of your comfort zone. That's one thing I would tell like graduates, like, don't be afraid to, legally, and respectfully break the rules.
When I think of post-college depression, the word that comes to mind is fear.
Post-college depression is equal to emptiness.
Post-college depression is hilarious.
Post-college depression equals an unfortunate reality.